Hello people, Mongoose again, and I'm back, and this time I've got something new for you. Now everybody knows in video gaming it's a very kind of broad industry, so there's a lot of games out there, lots of different genres, and sometimes we don't get to play them all, do you know what I mean? So since I've started like collecting older games for older consoles, I've bumped into a lot of games that I didn't play in the past when they first came out, and there's been quite a lot of them that have really surprised us of how like amazing they actually are, and how I've overlooked these games for so long is just beyond me. So I just thought it'd be good to start a series where I just talk about games that I previously overlooked. Now this is called Overlooked Gems, but it's not a hidden gems kind of episode. I've seen them videos before. A lot of these games are very, very well known, but for whatever reason when they were released, maybe it's due to my own ignorance, or just maybe it's just not thinking I'd enjoy it, I avoided these games or never even heard of these games. So yeah, let's crack right on with the very, very first one. Alright, so as you probably already guessed, it's Viewtiful Joe on PS2. Now this was released in 2004, but I believe it also got a 2003 GameCube release, but I completely just overlooked it, never heard of it or anything. And basically it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up slash platformer, and it's made by Capcom, so you know it's going to be an absolute classic. I mean, Capcom just pulled no punches with their games. They were always top notch, whether it be, you know, tournament fighters or the kind of survival horror of Resident Evil and Dino Crisis. They're always spot on with their games. I'm a massive Capcom fan, and the fact that this was overlooked by me for so long just blew me mind. Now basically what it entails is you are Joe and you're a massive action movie buff. Your hero is Captain Blue. And you take your girlfriend to the pictures, to the cinema, the movies, whatever, to watch a film and, you know, maybe sit in the back row and get a bit of romance going.
Joe, is this your idea of a date movie? We haven't been out on a date in forever. Hey, stop that. This is the best part.
Now whilst you're at the cinema with your girlfriend, things go a bit tits up, and basically the bad guy, Jado, who you're watching on the movie screen, comes through the movie and grabs your girlfriend and takes her away.
What the heck?
And I absolutely love that classic kind of 16-bit beat 'em up style, or 8-bit even, like the old style beat 'em up like story. It's just so basic, you know, your girlfriend's being captured, now you've got to go and rescue her, and that's what Joe does. He goes running right after her. Right, so let's talk about gameplay then. Basically, I've mentioned it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up kind of platformer, and there's loads of puzzle elements as well, but we'll get to them in a bit. And basically, it's just your standard kind of 16-bit beat-em-up fare. It's very much reminiscent of those 16-bit beat-em-ups, you know, your Final Fights, your Streets of Rage and stuff. So basically, you know, you can pretty much navigate yourself on a set path on a 2D plane, and you know you're going to be moving up and down, left or right, and basically you've got a kick button, a block button and a punch button, but also to aid you, you've got the V watch. Now this is an amazing device, and basically it allows you to speed up and slow down time, but it's done in this amazing kind of film-esque, like movie-esque style effect. So when you hit the button, it really looks like this kind of like amazing sped up or slowed down effect. It's hard to describe, but to play it, it just, you know, it really, really gets your adrenaline pumping. And now you can mix these attacks up. You know, say there's a very, very fast enemy on the screen that you need to take out, then you'll want to use the slow down technique. So basically it's going to slow down that that opponent, and you can just, you know, wail on them for ages. Then saying that, if you want to clear the screen of loads of enemies, like weaker enemies, you can go into the fast mode by pressing another shoulder button, and that'll take on a whole different, you know, attack where everything will go super duper fast instead of really, really slowed down. It's a great way of clearing the screen of enemies. It looks awesome as well. I mean, the visuals are very like 2D inspired, but they're done in this kind of 3D cel shaded way, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Graphically it looks beautiful, and that's supported so well by the soundtrack as well. I mean, the amazing visuals and soundtrack working together in this game just make for some amazing gameplay. Now, I know a lot of you know, beat 'em ups can be very monotonous with that kind of gameplay, you know, wave after wave of enemy, and this is not that. It's very much the combat's very varied, the enemies are very varied in how many enemies there are, or what kind of enemies they are, or how the enemies attack you, you know, and you've kind of got to adapt and use your different skills to overcome these enemies, and it's done really, really well. I mean, you'll not only be, you know, fighting enemies, there's quite a few puzzles, you know, so you can advance into the next area, and this kind of breaks up the combat really well. You know, you might have to use your brain a bit and, you know, use some of your special attacks to maybe make something lower or something go higher in the level that you're in, so you can access something else. It might be a key, it could be something else. And like I say, that just goes to break the gameplay up really, really well. So you'll go through loads of enemies, then maybe a boss, and then there'll be like a little puzzle for you to test your brain, and then yeah, just rinse and repeat. But like I say, it's also varied, like when it comes to the combat and the puzzles and the platforming, that it never really gets old. There's always something new thrown at you, and you always feel like you're kind of adapting to new enemies or new attacks and things like that. Yeah, so all in all, I mean, Viewtiful Joe is just a really fun, bright, vibrant, high-octane side-scrolling beat-em-up. And if you're a fan of the kind of 8-bit or 16-bit beat-em-ups, or even platformers, you're going to really enjoy this, and its kind of updated visuals just add to the effect. It just looks beautiful, and it sounds amazing, and it's just a really fun game that gets your, you know, your blood pumping and your adrenaline going, and you want to keep playing. You want to discover more things. And for some reason, I never heard of this game on its release. I don't know. Maybe back at the time I wasn't really looking for kind of 2D side-scrolling games. I was very much looking for, you know, 3D based games, that was kind of the thing. I think 2D was kind of looked upon as old hat, whereas, you know, now looking back on it, this game is like aged so well. Like, you can play it today and it pretty much looks like it was made to play on PS3 if it was done in high definition. It looks amazing, and it plays amazing, and it's just loads and loads of fun. So yeah, I mean, that's my overlooked gem. It's Viewtiful Joe on PS2. Have you got any overlooked gems that you maybe didn't discover until, you know, years after they came out, or you never played them on first release for whatever reason, and then played them and found an amazing game? If you have, I'd love to hear that in the comments section. Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it. That's Viewtiful Joe on PS2. Check it out, people, because I'm sure you'll enjoy it if you haven't. And I picked it up for £1. because I seen it on a GameSack episode, one of the best purchases I've ever made. Excellent. Anyway, I'll leave this like I always do and just say thank you very much for watching, people. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, you know, please hit that like button. If you've enjoyed it in particular, please hit the subscribe button. And of course, you know, leave us that feedback, because I love all your comments. Massively appreciated. I try and respond to all of them. So yeah, leave us like I always do. Thank you very much for watching, people. Bye.